What's up, guys? Here with another review on McFarlane Toys The Clown, Bloody Variant Edition from GameStop. So it's a GameStop exclusive. So as you might have seen in my last review of the Violator, the Bloody Edition, GameStop exclusive, they had a discount. So it was a deal, and it was 50% off of that price. So I got this one. It's $33.97 and 50% off of that. So super good deal. So I decided to get it. I do have the original, which we can do some comparisons with, but I just saw that and was thinking for 24 bucks or sorry, not 24, for 15 bucks, 16 bucks, like it's a pretty good deal. So I decided to pick it up and gonna review it for you guys today. So here we go up close in the package. Right, the clown, really good detail, just like the original. Right, it does have the blood splatter on it, which looks very realistic, looks really good. Definitely adds another dynamic to this character for sure. So looks like it comes with another set of bloody hands. Instead of the dagger, it comes with a chainsaw, handheld chainsaw weapon this time. And it looks like even the guns that go on his back are different, which is cool. So we'll do some comparisons of those so you can kind of see. But overall, looking pretty good. So now let's look at the side of the package. Okay, nothing too crazy there. Here's the back of the package with a action figure image. Looking really good there. Really good action shot, actually. Photo shot. And then we have some artwork here on the side, which look really menacing. So perfect. So now let's open this up and see what we're looking at. Okay, here is Clown, the bloody variant, out of the package. And this is looking really good. Okay, so there's the weaponry there. So you can see the really cool weapons he's got here. He's really locked and loaded. He's got that cool little chainsaw axe looking thing. And the detail on it is phenomenal. So it looks really good. So can't wait to compare it to the other one. But as we look close, we take a closer look. Right, you can tell you got really good paint with like a pale skin. You have the blue paint on the front. You have a black for the leather jacket. Definitely some places we could probably do some touch-ups as far as some little silver highlighting to just bring out some of the extra details. But they did do the zippers and things like that, which have been missed on some other McFarlane stuff. So that's pretty cool. The blood, I still don't, man, I don't know what paint they're using for it. Like, I don't know if they're using just like a red wash, like a really thick wash, or watering down some really thick paint. I'm not sure, but it looks good. It looks like real blood, which is awesome. So, but yeah, it looks really menacing. And then here you can see the weapons. They are like a black or like a charcoal gray color with some silver dry brushed over the top. Just a really thin layer of silver, you can tell. Just to keep it like that darker tone, but still add some detail. You see the textures, but overall looking really good out of the package. So what we'll do is we're going to go into articulation. I'll show you how to attach the weapons on his back. And then after articulation, we'll go into size comparison. We'll compare this one to the other version, and we'll see what they did differently. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the articulation here. So what we have is you see the weapons here. They are attached to his back. So it's a pretty easy mechanism. You just take them off here. It plugs into his back there. It's got a little bevel on the inside. And then you have a little groove here that kind of sneaks into it. So you push it on there and it usually stays pretty good. I haven't had any issues with the original. I've had it for quite some time. So let's do articulation first here on the weaponry. So I'm not going to go too crazy with the articulation because I actually like the way it's set. Pretty good. But as you can see here, we have ball joints here so you can rotate the weapon up and down to your liking. There is a little slit here so you can rotate it as well. These little arms here, you can actually extend them. They're kind of tricky, so I'm not going to do them right now, but you'll want to be gentle with those so you don't break them. But they can extend really high, extend out to the side. You can really kind of manipulate it in a really cool way, and you can do it on both guns. You also have the missiles here, and they go up, they go down, and you can rotate them side to side if you want to. And then you have the little handle here that he can hold on to. So yeah, quite a bit of articulation out of the weapons. It's just they don't always work, and sometimes they get a little loose on the other ones, so it didn't work as well as I would have liked. So this is actually a good setting, so I want to keep them there because I think it works well. Now let's get into him really quick. So now the clown here. So you have head articulation, so it looks up, not very far, about that far. Looks down, actually quite a bit. You get side to side, you can rotate, and so forth. Now your arms, you have shoulder articulation, goes up about that high. You have single jointed elbows, so it can bend a little bit. You do have wrist articulation, and then you do have wrist articulation bent here, although it's kind of an interesting joint there, so it kind of almost looks like a bone poking out, so kind of interesting there. And then you do have not really anything for hip articulation. Like there's definitely a groove here you can, but it doesn't really bend backward or frontward for the most part. Now you can probably get a little rotation, but this one's kind of stuck, so you're not getting much. And then you have the legs go up about that high, so not very high. They go back about that far. It is a single jointed knee, although it's kind of stuck, so not much you can do there currently. You can move the foot that far, move it back that far. You have toe articulation, and then you do have a ball joint, so it does pivot back and forth, which is nice. So, right, this is the clown, so it's not a character that's going to be, I think, in really dynamic poses anyways, so, you know, not the end of the world there, not super articulated. Just know if you do bend him forward, there is a gap there, so quite a big gap. But like I said, you're probably not going to do too crazy of poses on him. But overall, that's the articulation, so let's get into size comparison now. Okay, here we go. This is the bloody variant versus the original. So let's look up close and see what we notice as a difference here. So it looks like the face, the tones on the body, basically everything looks exactly the same. The only thing that's different, obviously, the blood splatter, so it makes it look a little different. And then the weapons, right? So you can tell these ones kind of more, almost like missile-like, if that makes sense. Heavier artillery, right? These ones are more like, you know, it looks more like automatic weapons, etc., right? Like, you know, the barrels look a little bit smaller, but overall, right, both are pretty cool. Missiles look, I think, identical, so they're the same on both. Very cool, so I love that. So unfortunately, I couldn't get this one to move. It's stuck. Otherwise, I was going to try to get it in the same position as this one. I just couldn't do it. So, but yeah, looking right next to it, looks good. I think the blood, honestly, is an upgrade, in my opinion. I think I like these missiles, this weaponry a little bit better than I like this one. But yeah, overall looking good. Now let's do another size comparison. Okay, here's the size comparison of the bloody variant Violator, and then the kind of standard size Spawn, and this is the one from MK11, the original. And it's crazy to me. It's just funny to think that the clown turns into the Violator. Such a neat concept. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so you could say obviously Violator is much bigger. Violator is one of the biggest figures that they've made. Obviously Clown is one of the smaller ones. And it looks like he sits quite a bit shorter than Spawn, which is pretty normal, right? The Clown is a pretty short person, right? But still menacing, right? I think that's the point. So fits in pretty good in scale. I think it's right on. Now let's get into final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts on Clown, the bloody variant. Like I said earlier, I like it better. I think the blood adds a lot. It adds to the menacing factor, and it just adds a little bit more detail to the figure. So I think it's definitely a win. I think for the price, right, this one originally was, I believe, $39.99, so $40. That includes, right, the figure and the weaponry, which I think that's okay. It's an okay price. Now, this one being only like $15 because it was on clearance at GameStop and 50% off, I say this is definitely a good buy. So go check your GameStops, see what they have available, because right now all clearance is 50% off, or at least in the date of this video. So check it out, see what you can find, because I found Violator that I got for like, what did I get that for? Like $25. Got this one for $15. I mean, you can't beat the price right now on those McFarlane Spawn figures. So if you're looking to add Clown, which I think is a necessary character to have, especially if you're doing a Spawn collection, it's definitely one to pick up. And if you have the option of the bloody variant versus the original, I'd say go the bloody way. I think it looks a lot better. I like the extra detail. So cool. That's all I had for this review. Feel free to check out my previous reviews. I will have a top 10 action figure list of 2022 coming out here pretty soon, so stay tuned to that. Feel free to like and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thank you much.